you're spending your afternoon, whining, or you spent your afternoon whining and dining at some fancy restaurant. Well, I decided to spend the afternoon learning all I can about these horses who serve the country in diverse ways. And this happens to be my favorite horse, and in a while I'll tell you her name. So stay with us on You and the Police for a great show. We'll be back.
They are known as the royal members of the police service. This is by virtue of the fact that they escort the president to most presidential ceremonies, but mostly on independence anniversary occasions. Their actual name is the Mounted Squadron, but popularly known as the Police Constabulary before Ghana's independence. Currently, there are 53 police constabularies, with some permanently stationed at the seat of government. The Mounted Squadron's history, traditions and uniforms can be traced back in a direct line to the Hussar Regiment set up by King Frederick V of England on 10th February 1762 in order to have a light mobile cavalry to face their enemies in the war with Russia. The Mounted Squadron unit of the Ghana Police Service was established to perform both ceremonial and operational functions. The Mounted Squadron has 36 active horses made up of 26 males and 10 females. The female horses are used for procreation purposes only. This leaves only 26 active male horses to perform these functions, a situation members of the royal service say affects their duties, especially during demonstrations. Did you know these horses also have names just like human beings?
How do you get to choose the names? How do you decide who gets to be called what?
We suggest the names. After that, we forward to headquarters for approval.
Okay. So what's the name of this one?
It's Peace and Love.
Oh, okay. Where did this one come from?
From Nigeria.
Ah. She's called what?
That's Mighty Ocean.
Oh, Mighty Ocean. This is from Mali.
Mali.
Okay. He's called
Flying Kit.
Flying Kit. Yeah. Oh, I hope it doesn't fly though. This one?
Step by step.
Step by step. Where is this one coming from? Which country is it from?
From Mali.
From Mali? Oh. Also from Mali? Ah, don't you get horses from Ghana here? Don't you get horses from Ghana?
No. So
but why is it called Boku? But it's from Mali, but you bought it at Boku.
The Mounted Squadron is a standby unit under the command of the Director General of Operations and takes instructions from the police headquarters. All horses have files with their names boldly written, and these names are given by the unit commander with the IGP's approval. The Mounted Police Squadron is available to assist general police duties on special operations, which include crowd and traffic control at major functions or events, including festivals, carnivals, and major sporting events. It has been said that one police horse is more effective than 10-foot police officers when performing crowd control duties. This is evident in most of the operations the unit has performed. On such occasions, the horses help the police to disperse irate crowds with the presence of the horses, scaring away people who want to take the law into their own hands. For instance, during one of the sittings in the trial of suspects in connection with the murder of the late Yana, the Rice Deployment Unit of the Police Service and the Mounted Squadron were able to effectively control the irate crowd. In New South Wales, UK for instance, the police force is very proud of the Mounted Section, an efficient support unit in operational duties and an imposing and spectacular sight on all ceremonial and protocol engagements, promoting a valuable public relations image for the police service. However, in Ghana, the situation is not the same, as they are mostly seen controlling crowds and escorting the president to preside over ceremonial functions. By virtue of their special duties, they are hardly seen in public, except on such rare days as the swearing-in of a president, Independence Day parades, or on days when foreign envoys present their credentials to the president. On occasions such as the Independence Day, the Mounted Squadron, otherwise known as the Police Constabulary, waits for the President, who is first led by the police dispatch riders up to the entrance of the Independence Square, before the Mounted Squadron takes over and escorts the President to the parade grounds for the commencement of official duties as the head of state and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Officers attached to the Mounted Squadron units go through an additional 6 months training after passing out of the official police training school depot, before learning how to use horses for police duties. And this is their training grounds, where newly recruited personnel undergo training. From a distance, it looks like an abandoned football field, and yet this is where personnel of the Royal Service are trained. It must be stated here that the Mounted Squadron unit solely uses the horses, and they enjoy this rare privilege of escorting the first gentleman of the land. There's, however, one interesting story about these horses. Like any human being, they are excused from duty whenever they fall sick. On such occasions, they are excused from performing official duties, and the excused duty could take up to 2 weeks.
Okay, so the structure you see behind me is actually the sick bay for the horses, and this is where unhealthy horses were kept from the healthy ones. That's because, you know, horses, their diseases are quite contagious and so can't live together when they fall sick. We'll go in there. As you can see, the structure itself is unhealthy, so we'll just walk in there and see exactly what is left of this structure. So we're in, and as you can see, what is here is just tons of rubbers, you know, sachet rubber. I don't know who is keeping them here, but they are here. And I think if we say that one healthy horse is actually more effective than 10 foot soldiers, then I guess the horses really deserve a lot better than this.
And this used to be their bedspread. Like all living things, they also enjoy some comfort, and after a hard day's work, they also have a place to lay their heads. However, modernization and civilization have caught up with the horses as well, so their bedspread has also seen some improvements. Now, they sleep on sawdust, which is more comfortable than the grass they used to sleep on. Fortunately for these horses, their needs are taken care of by the tailoring workshop, which is located within their place of abode. Their saddles are usually imported from Britain, and all repair and maintenance work of the saddle is handled by the workshop. Here, personnel can be seen working on some damaged saddles. But like any human institution, the Mounted Squadron unit has its own challenges.
So tell me, what are the challenges that confronts the squadron units? And don't tell me it's about money.
Actually, in escorting the president, let's see, there's a ceremony which involves the president. We need to have at least 36 horses for the escort duty, and then they are arranged in this way. The car in which the president sits, we arrange the horses in such a way that 16 horses are at the front, and then 16 are at the rear, and then the lateral ends 1-1.
You're telling me that out of that 6, you need more horses, yeah. And then besides that, are they the same horses that you use for your rise control? Is it the same horses?
Yeah, we use the same horses for the ride control.
So, I mean, what happens to the horses when they become weak and can't function? Do you give them out? What happens? How are they handled?
All right, they are only kept here. They are kept. Sometimes, when the zoo was in Accra here, yeah. When they become weak like that, then we give them out to the zoo. For them to be used to feed the animals in the zoo. Oh. Maintaining a horse, yeah, involves a lot of money. For example, if we want to go out like this, go out on a ride control duties. We need to have a special footwear for the horses because they be walking on bare roads and then bare ground. But as I speak now, we don't have those special shoes, and they are not made locally in Ghana yet. They are imported from overseas.
None of them have.
None have.
You also mentioned that they need footwear, which they don't have. How does that affect the physical being of the horses? And does that in any way hinder the performance of the horse?
Without the shoes, they cannot function as they should. Because they are stepping on a bare ground, or a bare road. So it affects their legs. So they can't work as expected.
This is the current state of some portions of the building.
So the problem that confronts the mounted squadron is not just getting a sick bay or the number of horses being increased, but there's also the problem of encroachers who have taken over the land. And as you can see behind me, illegal structures have sprung up. And I keep asking myself, whose responsibility is it to get these people out of the land? And perhaps the land could be developed into a more modern facility to house these horses. So while that question remains to be answered, we'll take a quick break and return with more on you and the police.